Energy is about to get a lot more expensive. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. We have people complaining about the costs that they experience in their daily lives. I hear it all the time, but understand that it's about to get much more expensive. I'm going to explain the reason why, and this will affect people differently depending on where you are. So you want to pay attention. Doesn't matter if you're in the United States or Europe or wherever. Let me tell you, this is coming fast. Let's begin. Here we have it. You could see OPEC Plus weighs further oil production cuts as anger mounts over Gaza. Saudi Arabia prepares to prolong reductions into the spring after price hits a 4-month low of $77. It went down even further than that. There are talks of $70 a barrel at the time of this recording. And so what we can see very clearly is that this is one major commodity that is basically in everything. You look at what's made out of this oil. I mean, it's incredible. And now we have the thought that they're going to continue these production cuts, maybe even more, in order to put the screws on certain countries. And that is an important difference from what we had seen not long ago. But these things do happen, and we see these cycles, and we hope we are not in the same situation as the 1970s. Why is that the case? Well, of course, not just because of the prices that we experienced, the oil shock. If you ever read any of these books from this time frame, you would see how detrimental this was to the economy, to the jobs, and everything else. But I'm going to save something for the end because that's where we get into the real mess, which we've been tracking over the past 3 years. Let me break this down a little further, though, as it relates to energy. Now, if you are part of this YouTube channel, you've been subscribed to me at least since 2020, or you are in the Finance Friday group. We have a live group that connects together as part of what I call the mentorship group. They know about uranium. In fact, we have one of the members who made some money off of this, and I'm glad that at least one person that I know did. But if you are out there and you understand what has happened with uranium, please let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate it. Look, because hedge funds are piling into uranium stocks and they are set for a dramatic rise. That's right. Now, this was from the end of October, but this is, I'll show you, it's been going on for a while, okay? I've been tracking this a lot. I've been just begging and pleading people, please look at uranium. Please look at it. And this is just one example, okay? One factor. Look, uranium prices have soared 125% since the end of 2020. So you could have made some gains during this period of time. And in fact, in depending on how you purchase it, because of course you get the physical Sprott ETF. You could buy companies like Chemical, which I've talked about before. There's a million different ways. However, in general, this has moved up. For a lot of these stocks, you could have been buying anytime. You didn't have to time this, and you would have made multiples on your cash. And it was there for a specific reason. Okay, why did this go up? Well, I've been talking about it for a while, but anyway. IEA estimates global nuclear capacity needs to double by 2050. So the energy demands, unless we go into some cataclysmic event where we don't require power anymore, the energy demands are going to continue to go up. And as a result of that, we need more energy. Where's that energy going to come from? Well, we'll talk about that in this video. And that is essentially right now, we're using coal. We're using, in some cases, people using biomass, like burning stuff if they need to. And they're saying all that stuff, that creates pollution. So we've got to go to this other thing, okay? We got to go to wind. We got to go to solar. We got to go to, whatever's the new thing. The electric vehicles, we're going in that direction. And you might say, that's not good. This isn't good. But they're spending the money on it. But the one that is so, suppressed over the last several years, many, many years, has been nuclear energy. They didn't want it. And especially when Fukushima came around, it was like, we're not touching that. One of the problems, is that you build a nuclear plant on a fault line that gets tsunamis. I mean, the Ring of Fire there are areas that don't experience these things that might be much better areas to have it. Japan, anyway, they didn't want to rely on importing. That's the case there, but they have to be able to withstand the earthquakes, withstand these natural disasters in order to make it feasible in these places. Look, now this was from a little while back, but some are suggesting equities in this market, uranium prices, that they could see a dramatic upside, 50%, 100%, possibly more. And of course, when you see the negativity around something, when something is so unloved, that becomes a potential opportunity, right? Now, I'm not telling you to buy. I was telling people in 2020, now we've come up quite a bit. They're still saying there's so much demand. They haven't been using what they need. Like, we need to increase our, the capacity, and they're just not doing that right now. Exxon makes lithium play in long-term bet on EV demand, but it's going to take up until 2027. And so that means, yes, they're investing in it. They're making that happen. It's bullish for Arkansas. It's bullish for the United States in general. It's good for Exxon as well. It's going to take a while to get this online, okay? Several years. I mean, we're almost in 2024 at the time of this recording, but still a few years down the road, that's if everything is going well. So we know that they still need to rely on other players in the business. Less supply, higher prices. You get it? All right. Heating homes with natural gas is more than 40% cheaper than electricity. Where we are getting our electricity right now is too expensive, and certainly people are feeling the pinch. That connects me with this. World lacks enough LNG for energy transition. That's right. All right. So you can see that we need this stuff. There's demand. We want to go to this renewable energy, electric vehicles and all that. But do we have enough stuff yet? If the answer is no, where do we got to go? LNG, natural gas. We also have to look at what's available to us today for our energy needs. And that's why during 2020, there was such a surge in coal, because that was available, that was there right now, and there weren't as many mines. So the price shot up into, record highs, essentially. What about this? The world needs to invest $7 trillion to ensure the gas supply through 2050 amid a shift to cleaner sources. Think about that. The scenario assumes a 56% reduction in emissions by 2050, as emerging nations won't hit net zero by the middle of the century. Are they going to do that? Are they going to invest $7 trillion to ensure the gas supply through 2050? Does that make, is that realistic? So we can have a couple scenarios here in which they don't do that. The price goes up dramatically. That's the way it is, supply and demand. If they don't do that, maybe they have to seek alternative sources. Maybe they're going to go back to coal. Maybe they're going to do that. Or are they going to choose something else? We don't know, but it will be determined on where that investment is, the partnerships, the deals. That's why I track this all here on this channel. It may not seem too interesting, but me being able to tell people 2 and 3 years before things occur, before the big surges occur, it's because I get into this level of detail. All I ask is that you hit that thumbs up and you're on this channel. You come back day to day to day. And yeah, it might not be the most fun stuff in the world, but you could be doing some good things like the members of the Finance Friday group. All right. Kudos to those who check that out. Now, we have some changes coming up. No, it's not like Tupac's changes, but there are some things. One of those is this. A moment of truth is coming for the oil and gas industry. Structural changes in the energy sector are now moving fast enough to deliver peak in oil and gas demand by the end of the decade under today's policy settings. Wait a second, what are they saying? We're going towards renewables, we're going to do electric vehicles, and how do we do that? We restrict where people, or potentially when, and even how much people are able to drive in certain areas. You want to drive in the middle of the city, you better be an electric vehicle. Oh, there's waivers for this group and that group, but not you. How do you get around? Well, how can you drive if you don't have an electric vehicle? Oh, that's okay. You could take the public transit. So now you got to live within that area where you can move via their systems. This is how they can control. This is what's happening. You could say, you know what? No way, not going to happen. City by city, day by day, this is what's going on. Saudi Arabia lines up new trade deals beyond oil. So Saudi Arabia obviously was a one-trick pony for a long time, and now they are spending billions and billions. They're making offers to Lionel Messi. They're going out to Cristiano Ronaldo. They have their own version of, MMA, like a UFC type fighting. The LIV golf. They are doing anything that they can in order to get the business. And look, let's be honest. Billions are being thrown in their direction. And so they realize this. They are diversifying out of this. Did they see the writing on the wall that maybe oil is going to be less in demand 100 years from now, 50 years from now, 20 years from now? Could be, right? Why else would they bother? Why not be that one-trick pony, do it real well, invested everything into that? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Please let me know. Why is Saudi Arabia doing this? Why are they diversifying like they are? Profit at China's top wind farm slumps 98%. If there's one thing I've heard about wind, it's that a lot of the time it's not working. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I've heard and secondhand about so many cases that the wind turbines are just off, just not working, not operating. And so you're not making money. They're not doing this at a time in which it's needed. They're telling us we need to get on renewable. And this is what's happening. We've got an issue here very clearly. So when you go to invest, don't just blindly invest. Know what you're doing here. You got to make the right decision. So what can you expect out of this? Okay. All right. You made it to the end. I talked about the beginning. You're still here. And so you get the real deal. Understand this. If we are moving into an environment in which prices are elevated, you are going to witness this. If you got a shortage of one type of energy, you're going to see higher prices. If there are higher prices, then will they be able to basically come in and with the central bank and start to cut interest rates as a result of this? We need to make it easier on you. We need to watch out. There's suddenly a recession. There's a slowdown. Let's cut interest rates. They're going to increase the money printing, with interest rates, everything else that they can do, all the different modes of, monetary fiscal policy. And this could fuel inflation even further. Now, you might not see that in one place or the other, but this shows up and you've got to watch it very clearly. My biggest concern is not deflation. Deflation is welcomed in today's world, but instead we can expect more inflation. This is a big concern. I thank you for sticking with me until that point. If you want to be part of that group, you've got to go to this page on my website. The link is in the description where we talk about these things. I show the charts every Friday and you could look at this and I've been bang on. Why? Is it because of my crystal ball? No, it's because I follow what's called the money mirror method. And I utilize this in order to determine where we are in the cycle. And I've been able to help my small group understand exactly what's going on. Okay, link in the description. This is the comment of the day. I love these. Every single day we feature that. And today we have one that says, David, I was wondering if you could do a video on your workout routines and nutrition. Generalities do a lot of fitness of the economy or lack thereof, but sometimes we need to start at our own health. Thanks. And absolutely, I would love to do one of those perhaps in the coming days, weeks. I should do so. It'll be a nice change of pace. But I wanted to say that yes, in fact, health is important and we need to do what we can. We need, emotional side, physical side, spiritual, everything. It's all playing into what we do and what we have. I appreciate you for being here today. If you did want to appreciate this information, hit that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.